Hey guys, Boss Ramos, and so close. So freaking close. This Miami Dolphins team came to their second win of the season, but it was all spoiled by a game winning field goal by the Los Angeles Chargers. They go on to lose 29-27. They drop to 1-5. Meanwhile, Chargers improve to 4-2. Now, should the Miami Dolphins have won this game? Absolutely. Did they waste away a possible win here? Absolutely. Should they have beaten a far more depleted Los Angeles Chargers team? Absolutely. Did they? No chance in hell. This was a tough one to take in. One, in person, two, just in general, as a Dolphins fan. You're not going to win when your quarterback throws 3 interceptions. Show me a quarterback who's won a football game where they throw 3 interceptions and the score is relatively as low as it was in this one. On top of all that, this defense allowed a lot of rush yards to a depleted backfield. It's tough to say. And it's hard to root for this team each and every week, where you know you're going to get disappointed at some point. They may find a way to win, but you're going to get disappointed almost the whole way through, and they're probably not going to come out to win. It's very upsetting and frustrating as a fan, but aside from that, it is football. Let's talk about some team stats. Then we're going to jump into the highlight, box score, so aka individual stats. Last but not least, keys to victory. And then maybe, just maybe, I will go on a little bit more of a spiel. All right, team stats. Miami. Let's start with the Chargers. They went 6 of 15 on third down. Dolphins went 5 of 11. Meanwhile, the Chargers also went 1 for 1 on fourth down. If we keep on moving, Chargers had 263 yards passing. Miami Dolphins had 204. Rushing was pretty close there with 140 for the Los Angeles Chargers, 137 for this Miami Dolphins team. Penalties. Chargers had 7 penalties against them for 45 total yards, while Miami Dolphins had 4 penalties for 45 yards. So regardless of, yes, you committed less penalties, you still had the same amount of yardage. And then last but not least, the Chargers won the turnover battle, forcing 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions to be exact. Meanwhile, the Dolphins were able to get on top of a fumble recovery to get 1 turnover there. Time of possession, 34 minutes, 19 seconds. Chargers, 25 minutes, 41 seconds for the Miami Dolphins. Oh, man. All right. We're going to keep it moving. Going to the highlight. I do not own or have the rights to any of this stuff, so if YouTube or NFL wants to shut it down, go ahead. If there's weird jumps, you know what it is. But we'll start off early in this one. First Dolphins drive. Jalen Waddle. Looks like he catches the ball, but oh no. He bobbles it out, and it turns out to be an interception for Tua. We'll put that one on Waddle. Anyways, Chargers go on, kick a couple field goals, but the Dolphins answer back with a Devon Achane big-time rushing touchdown. But now we jump to the second half where things got pretty interesting. Herbert finds Ladd McConkey. Chargers take the lead out of the half. And now, Dolphins ensuing drive, interception. Tough look here for Tua on that one. Following Chargers drive, they drive down the field and Kamani Vidal gets in the end zone for 6. Just so close. Able to get in for that one. But the Dolphins aren't dead in the water just yet. Devon Achane able to get into end zone for another rushing touchdown on this game. And yet, there's still more to behold for this Dolphins team. They got to stop, and they capitalize with a Darren Waller wide open, butt naked touchdown. Dolphins are able to take the lead here in the final minute of play in the fourth quarter. Things are looking good in Miami. Oh no. Can the Miami Dolphins get a key defensive stop? Phillips wrapped around Herbert. He switches hands. and still gets it back into his right hand, delivers it to McConkey, and he rushes 2 races, able to get out of bounds and get the Chargers in much needed field goal position. You see him there, ball's in the left hand, switches over to the right, and gets to strike where it needs to be. Chargers go on to kick the possible game-winning field goal. Hopefully, you guys all know the results because they went to go on to win. McConkey, Herbert happy about it. Dolphins' last chance here, and Tua's first throw intercepted by none other than Derwin freaking James. Oh man, Mike McDaniel, his time is very limited in Miami, and Jim Harbaugh probably told him about it. Who knows? Michigan guy, Stephen Ross loves his Michigan guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if when it came to the coaching hiring cycle, when it came to Jim Harbaugh, Stephen Ross gave him a freaking phone call. All right, enough of all that. Let's get into the individual stats, and then we're going to talk about keys to victory. Justin Herbert, 26 of 38, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked once for a loss of 1 yard. Now moving on to Tua, he went 21 of 32, 205 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, sacked twice for a loss of 9. Jalen Waddle also had a pretty interesting pass to Devon Achane. So he's 1-1 for 8 total yards. Rushing, Chargers had 140 yards on the ground, led by Kamani Vidal with 18 carries, 124 yards. Longest of 38. He had a couple big gashes against this defense. Meanwhile, Devon Achane led the Miami Dolphins with 128 yards off of 16 carries, 2 touchdowns, longest of 49, which was one of those touchdowns. Dolphins, all in all, had 137 yards on the ground, but it all came from Devon Achane, essentially. Receiving, Ladd McConkey led the Chargers with 7 receptions, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, longest of 42, which was the one that got him into field goal range late there in the game. Andre Gadsden II had 7 receptions, 68 total yards. And then following him, Keenan Allen, 4 receptions, 27. Chargers had 226 passing yards. Meanwhile, Miami Dolphins, 213 passing yards. Jalen Waddle had 6 receptions for 95 yards. Following him was Julian Hill, 3 receptions, 31. Alec Ingold, 1 reception, 22. Devon Achane, 4 receptions, 22. Malik Washington, 4 receptions, 22. Darren Waller, 2 receptions, 12 yards, and a touchdown. Not the best day for this Miami Dolphins receiving corps. Fumbles, let's talk about it. Gadsden fumbled, recovered by Jordan Brooks. Keenan Allen fumbled, but also got back on top of it. That was a crazy play in the moment. Way out of his reach, and somehow Keenan Allen just, I'm going to grab that real quick. And able to retain possession there. Could have been a big pickup for this Miami Dolphins team should they have recovered that fumble. Let's talk about some defensive stats. Dalen Hanley led the Chargers with 7 total, 3 solo. Following him was Troy Dye with 6 total, 3 solo. He also had a tackle for a loss. Some other key stats. Derwin James had 1 pass deflection. Dante Jackson had a tackle for a loss. Benjamin St. Just had a pass deflection. Same for Cam Hart. Odefe Owe had a sack, tackle for a loss, and a pass deflection. No, my bad, 2 QB hits. Tony Jefferson with 2 pass deflections. Tui Tapalulu had a sack, tackle for a loss, and 2 QB hits. And that's about it for the Chargers. In terms of that, we also have Derwin James with an interception return for 21 yards. Tony Jefferson with an interception return for 1 yard. And Benjamin St. Just with an interception for no return yards. KJ Britt led the Miami Dolphins with tackles with 3. He had 6 solo. Following that was Jordan Brooks with 9 solo, 9 total. And then on top of that, key stats, Rasul Douglas had a QB hit. Minka Fitzpatrick had 2 pass deflections, almost had an interception at one point in this game. Jalen Phillips had a QB hit. Zach Sealer had 2 QB hits. And Kenneth Grant finally getting some reputable stats here. A sack, tackle for a loss, and a QB hit. That's about it defensively for this Miami Dolphins team. Don't really care about talking about some special team stuff. We'll talk about kicking though. Cameron Dicker 5 for 5 on field goals, longest of 35, 2 for 2 on extra points. Riley Patterson 2 for 3 on field goals and 3 for 3 on extra points. Punts, J.K. Scott had 2 punts for 94 total yards, 2 of which were in the 20. Jake Bailey had 2 punts for 111 yards and longest of 57. So, very even and closely contested game, and that is with this Los Angeles Chargers team pretty depleted, especially in their backfield and some of their key defensive players like Khalil Mack not being in. So, it's tough. It's tough to see for this Miami Dolphins team. As much as I am upset that they lost, this was a game that they probably shouldn't have won, and we're close enough, at least to cover the spread in terms of betting, but aside from that, like, they had the lead with a minute left, and the defense cannot make a stop. Jalen Phillips cannot bring down Justin Herbert, and he strikes and gets the Chargers in field goal range, especially with the yards after the catch from Ladd McConkey. You take that out, Miami Dolphins probably win this game. You get that sack, Miami Dolphins win this football game. So you can understand where these Dolphins fans, myself included, are pretty upset with this loss. Oh, man. I laid out some keys to victory. It was run the dang ball, get pressure on Herbert, and don't make any stupid mistakes. They ran the dang ball, right? Achan, need I remind you, 128 yards on the ground. They ran the damn fucking ball. Defensively, could not get to Herbert. He was sacked once for a loss of 1 yard. The Dolphins had, let's see about this, 7 QB hits. They were getting to him. They couldn't bring him down. Last but not least, yes, you committed less penalties. You committed 4 penalties. It was the same amount of penalty yardage that the Chargers had in 7 penalties. Make it make sense. Last but not least, 2 through 3 interceptions. You're not going to win football games when your quarterback is throwing 3 interceptions like that. All in all, very fun, entertaining game. If I was just a random fan, I would have loved this game. Being a Dolphins fan, it's tough to see Miami squander another game in this fashion. Oh boy. That's about it for this one. Pretty upset about the loss. Really was hoping to see Miami Dolphins win here. You know, it's part of the game. It is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, y'all.